Bismillah. Mujahida opened her eyes and pressed snooze on her alarm clock. She opened her eyes again and was back on journey where Allah had led her soul to be. She was relaying messages somewhere in a realm she had been to before, tying letters to pigeons and owls and sending them off. She blinked and opened her eyes again, and immediately grabbed her phone to see the sun had come up and she missed the dawn of Fajr prayer, but immediately got up to wash for praying anyways, deciding to make up the prayer sooner than later. Off to the sink. Bismillah. Water rushing, dripping, mouth, face, hair, neck, feet. Head on the floor. There is no God but God. Recently converted into Muslim, and lifetime of changes yet to come, always happening still. She used to do drugs and date and sleep with lovers, upon many other things of the past she was better off without, knowing that eternity of bliss in Jannah is much more rewarding than any of this deceiving mess. This new way of life also gave her a new sense of beauty in the world. The insight of a child, again walking for the first time. During prayer, memories from her soul's journeying through the night was coming back to her. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace and blessing to the angels she imagines all around her, praising Allah with her and protecting her. In and out memories from distant past fading in the waking morning. Forgive me, God, for waking late, missing Fajr. Mujahida changed her name from Elisa and still used her past name with her non-Muslim friends and family. She poured hot water for tea and started to read the place she was at in the Quran. It was beauty, poetry, this book of all the answers she had questioned and been searching for. She had been mostly an only child growing up, but wished for that sense of community and chaos, a liveliness that comes with uncontrollable crews of people. She prayed for such a future, but for now she lived rather solitary and was thankful for what she was learning alone with Allah. Her mother lived countries away but visited throughout the year for business back to the States, back to Cali. She grew up here most of her life and knew nothing more except the trip she was privileged to escape on years before. She would never forget the magic of the jungles or the beaches and how she hoped one day to escape again from the monotony of metropolis and its concrete urban jungle trap. She daydreamed of free-flowing fields and how less distracting the butterflies are for reading with and getting all the self-learning she so desired but could never find enough time for, with all the rushing to and fro, never enough time to pause and breathe, to pause and think, to blink. She rushed to work, no time to shower, same wage madness she'd hoped to escape from. Another cash register, sales computer, office of another, didn't matter what. She often quit jobs unsatisfied, never devoted to anywhere. She also daydreamed of how to make her own money, of how to pick a new place to live entirely away from the wretched USA. But who would accept her? How could she just sell her things, take little, and run away? Who would miss her, forget her? What about staying and waiting here to settle down, have family, take classes, finish something? She prayed every day for guidance, for others' struggles, for love for God, for family for God, for children for God. Insha'Allah, Creator willing. She had gone crazy right after converting to Islam, and her closest people had witnessed that and seen her firsthand at her craziest. That's why she decided to live alone for a while. She daydreamed and prayed her work days away and then tried to find adventures around her, to limit TV or interweb madness that made her feel crazy. She had a past of not eating and sleeping that often led her to wandering the streets alone. To hide in bushes felt like the safest places at one time in her recent past, and she thanked God often that she came out of that. She survived much but didn't feel like talking about all that. She loved to write when she felt alone. It was like speaking to an old friend that she'd known as long as she could remember being lonely. She went outside under the light of the moon to write, to be around plants. She strongly disliked living indoors in reality, but did what she was told these days and found ways to get used to it. She wrote out prayers on paper. A wild cat slowly found her, alluring and interesting in his territory. His curiosity, slowly but surely, led him to licking her arm, playfully batting at her unmoving pen, and then viciously biting at her elbows and scurrying away. She chose to sit alone this night under the tree that a young boy of 16 years hung himself in months ago. She was taking out the trash one night, just as the dusk began fading with the sparkling of stars, to glimly see the hue of a body in this field that chose to end life hanging at a distance far enough to be seen by someone, maybe. Many people came out to see the commotion, some running towards the excitement with cameras, others sobbing. Police, firemen, ambulance. A city's response to death. Every day this tree became more of a meeting place of remembrance for people. The moon kept her company tonight, as well as some bugs flying around. Insects never really grossed her out or disturbed her. Rather, she enjoyed sharing the company. She enjoyed imagining the bugs understanding more than humans could possibly comprehend about them, and the complexities and capacities of their microscopic minds. She was never truly alone, but she always felt at the crossroads between reality of the right things everyone had always wanted her to do versus the adventure of a lifetime that not planning would bring, where letting go of everything we have ever assumed or known of the world could go out the window with our worries, so that we still have the option to do everything in our short lives different. She wanted to see the world. She wanted to have babies and raise them to be true warriors for Allah. She wanted a family that could travel the world together and know how to survive. She wanted to have faith through the struggles and moments of bliss in life, growing in her faith every step of the way. She was a spiritual being still entering into learning her own capacities. She was getting tired and running out of thoughts and goals to jot down. She missed family living all spread over the world now. She had her Muslim community and would never want to leave that. She also would need some concrete purpose and reason to just pick up and leave. She tried this idea before of just escaping this life as it is now to survive somewhere else for a while. That only lasts for so long, not being around anyone who has known you your whole life. It gets lonely. But that doesn't mean that she couldn't hold tight to the hidden truths that the jungle revealed to her. Secrets that seem fantasy to anyone who has never left their hometown and has ventured alone with some risks. She once followed fireflies into a foreign jungle of a place far from here. Butterflies the size of her back, landing on her, warming her, under the full moon in a completely different time and place, in front of an ocean overflowing and warm. Sea turtles resting, babies hatching and running for their lives. A moon moth caught her attention, then, in a memory from this place where time truly ceased to exist, when you have no place to go nor reason to know the day or date. The moth was slowly opening and closing their wings in a distance so slowly that the gleaming of the moon shining on them was like a silent call to be closer to her. She came closer and closer to witness what was actually happening. The legs of the moth were moving, with just their last strength of breath, holding on to a branch of a rotted, dried beech bush. The moth was saying goodbye and passed on moments later before her eyes. That felt more meaningful than an entire riot back home in the city with burning police cars and the excitement of bashing windows to disturb their spectacle night after night. But who would agree or understand the depths of beauty of these moments, and who really could compare? The distresses of the city and its chaoses and dramas were aging her, the more she became involved and helped out. The deaths of the streets broke her heart night after night in the cities where she lived, where the gunshots never stopped. Everything always changing all around her. She was never able to keep up, feeling like an elder with Alzheimer's in her early 20s, already not keeping up with all the who's, what's, where, why, how of the times. All the answers she searched for, she could find eventually by the blessings of knowledge and teachings from Allah. She now had access to the people all over the earth who are also Muslims, striving, fighting, living, surviving, praying, working for Allah. Exalted is He. So much to learn, endless knowledge never stops. All you can do is share your moments with those you trust and preach by example, with your own life. She was more aware of the world than she had been yesterday, yet always feeling stuck in the mentality that she knew less about the world than everyone else around her. How is it possible to know what she does about genocide or continual colonization and not kill herself or bomb something? But she came to some conclusions when she started to find God again, in these new ways now, new perspectives for how to live and be now, paths toward eternal bliss, just by following the formula left from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in the Quran for us, for those who meditate and pray on the wonders of creation and thank the Creator for being a part of this. This is all a test. Angels seem to surprise her in her steps in the street. She asks the stranger for quick directions and seems to get stuck into a history lesson from the madness of an elder not letting her speak, putting out questions about slavery or God, but never actually wanting any answers, just another question after question. And what was that lesson from Allah speaking? Trying to understand. We are all from God. We are all God in our speech. Knowing every encounter is sacred, and the angels trying to train us and the demons trying to tempt us, all around we are put to the tests. Never to be afraid or lose hope, because whatever comes our way, it's just momentary until our eternal end.
Well, now the pleasure is all mine. I pray to God Allah bless you and your family. May you have a beautiful and blessed day.
You too.
May Allah Kadeem bless you.
All right. All right, peace. Thank you.
Salaam alaikum.
Walaikum salam. These are just some of the rambling thinkings and thoughts that got silenced at last as she processed the overexposed images and flashes and sounds that was the day. As she closes her eyes, she is swept away again for the journey of souls, where the living and the dead meet to be reunited at last, where souls from the same realms come together and connect, where all is camouflaged as the day that she just left. She just prayed for dreams from Allah, beneficial and pure. Up for Fajr prayer already. Don't snooze today, she thinks. Washing in the sink. Bismillah. Still half asleep until the water washes over the eyes and they waken up for serious time, the closest we can get with Allah. She decides after the prayer this morning to quit her job and pack her bags. No idea where she is headed, but somewhere else is her best guess. She feels inspired today and lays back down to finish morning rest. Eyes closed and open to the maze. She tries to find the entrance. Eyes open. Back here. Afternoon now. Didn't show for work. She posts her room for rent and deletes an old blog from the past. She goes back to prayer and decides to fast. Something happens in these dreams, these journeys of the souls that move her, change her, teach her. And she can't always remember glimpses from their teachings. Only without alarm clocks can she remember. She wants to prioritize the teachings from Allah by her dreams. Where can she go where alarm clocks cease to exist? Where will she find the love Allah wants for her to start a family with? She takes a nap exhausted from the journey her soul went on needing rest. Eyes open. She's awake on her deathbed, 97 years old, in a place she doesn't recognize. She feels at peace, though. She truly has lost her mind, staring now into the youthful eyes around her, confused, holding hands and staring eye to eye with strangers like they've known her whole life. The only way she felt Allah, making her not feel alone then, in her final moments, was her attention noticing a small brown beetle crawling on her shirt up to her face, in her last breath and in peace. La ilaha illallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Allahu la ilaha illahu al-hayyu qayyum. La ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm. Lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. Man dha alladhi yashfa'u indahu illa bi'idhnihi ya'lamu ma bayna aydihim wa ma khalfahum. ولا يؤتون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يعوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so then this is the fireflies. Does it look good?
Yeah, it does.
Do you want to do it like close and focus?
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
That was cool. Okay, that was a good experiment. You want to see it? Yeah.
There he goes. There's a little guy.
You got him?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just got used to I got used to smashing him.
I did a neck.
Okay, we gotta do that again.
Okay.
That was another blooper.
Spider time?
Come on, come on, come
Spider
on.
time, Isaiah?
Unless you 10 cry.
Spider time, Isaiah?
I'm recording. Now she could look
And
up.
then look into the camera.
Wow, she looks evil.
Here, can you have your eyes open bigger? Yeah, that works.
Can you see all this?
Yeah.
Is it cool?
It's like kind of cool, yeah. Just crawling.
Okay. I think that's good.
Like a model, meow.
Oh yeah? Are you the star of the film now?
Okay, Isaiah. No, stand up. Stand up, Isaiah.
That's actually really cute.
Oh, okay.
No, that's fine.
Okay, Isaiah, like kind of walk weirdly, okay? Walk like you don't normally walk, okay? And walk like side to side, like...
That's good. Okay, now do it really slow, Isaiah. Isaiah! Come here!
Isaiah!
Okay, walk through really slow.
Slow, slow.
Slow, slow. Good job.